Hello, how are we doing today? Welcome everyone to the Escape Corner. My hair is soaking because I literally just popped out of the shower because working outside today, getting dirty to make something clean. Good morning, Kitty Bear, Stephen Paul. Hello, Michael. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do I look down on Greeks? Most Greek people I know are shorter than me, so I look down on them most of the time, just from a stats standpoint, honestly. It is freaking hot in here. Oh my goodness, that was water. That was water. Mod myself? Never. I'll never mod myself. See if I stay awake from this. You spend about 20 hours sleeping today. Oh my goodness. That's a heavy sleep. That's a sleep of someone who hasn't slept in a bit. Usually is how that would work if it were me. You know, you're like, oh, I haven't slept in forever. I'm gonna sleep for like a day just to catch up. All right, let's get this live now. Woo! Well, if you missed it, I went on with friend of the channel, Brandon, the anime guy, this morning. It was him, Nerdporial Lifeform, and Dennis. Dennis was there, as well as Brandon, and myself. Of course, I was there. That was fun. We're talking about Trigun, trying to debate whether or not we are excited for it, you know, and I thought there was more hype on the other side of the panel, so I was ready with the, I'm not sure I'm exactly ready for it. I think the opening is not great. I think it's hopefully that's just a quick cut, right, with the trailer. Man, this is disgusting. This hair is gross. Gross. Silly. All right, whatever. But we had I think we had a constructive chat. I think it was good because they hadn't seen the panel from AX, so they hadn't seen some of the information that we got there from the mangaka Naitao about Trigun and sort of what it took for him. I chose the worst properties ever to watch. I find that being hard to believe. Are you talking about for summer 2022? Are you saying my Annie list is corrupted? Hold on. Here we go. My anime list. So you're saying, oh, you're talking about Bear. Okay. I was like, hold on a minute. Paro Chinbaka, how are you doing? Thank you for the tag on your video. Every little bit helps. Plus, it's always fun to see stuff. Are you somehow Russian? You know Russian, family members Russian or something? Because there's crazy moon runes all over that video, and I wasn't sure if that was connected to you directly or if it was just because of the video you had found. Uncle from Another World might be fun. Who was it? Was it E-Class or was it Michael who was saying it might be best of the season? Who was saying that? Because I think it was in the Discord. Let me pull up the Discord. Did I know? The show. Wait, what is just Healer Girl again? Bunger enthusiast. Hold on. Who said it? Wait, was it you? I swear somebody recently said, oh yeah, Serrano. Serrano said that Uncle could be best of the season as well. So, very, very interesting. Ukrainian and multilingual. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, man, there's a lot of funky subs going on here. I can't read any of them. The Plain Witch show is just Healer Girl again. Except they've got planes for legs. And like I haven't started it. Is there constant upskirts? Because that was Strike Witch's upskirt panty shot. That was like the name of the game in that show originally. So I'm curious to see if the new one follows along. You'll never forget. There's a reason there's a baka there. You know, you did do that to yourself. You know, like you don't. Like, sure, when you turn 18, you could change your name, and call yourself whatever you want. But like, you're kind of given your name. You kind of chose your handle. Kind of like Kitty Pear, where we found out that Stephen Paul is some sort of boner reference in what is it, Scottish? It's an alternate to Strike Witches. Here, let's see if I can find it here on the list real quick. League of Nations, Air Force Aviation, Magic Band, Luminous Witches. It is an other, so it's related to Strike Witches. Here, we'll just stick a small corner bit. Will we see Witch Flight? So they fly on the planes. See, they got the flight legs going on. You haven't seen either of those. So Strike Witches is literally plain leg witches. Like it's it's basically the same, and I think the change is that it's just a different fighter wing, basically, as opposed to the original. You haven't seen Dutch style. Like, if you ever want to laugh, whenever I'm with my brother, he calls me Kitty wherever we go. Kitty. As long as he doesn't go the pss, 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 as long as he doesn't do that. Your comparison did not miss the mark. Your comparison was dead on. Dead on. In fact, the only way your comparison could get closer is if you were like, oh, is it anything like Strike Witches and perhaps designed by Fumikane Shimada? That's the only way you could have been more accurate with your, it sounds like Strike Witches. Oh my goodness. Basically Healer Girl with plain girls. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, basically Healer Girl, like in Healer Girl, where they're like working hard to rank up to the next level so they can do their job better. Like, yeah, sure, it's a shonen, but with a girl, basically, instead of a dude. Because for some reason, anime, it'll have strong female characters, but are there strong female shonen protagonists? Have I seen episode 1? I have not seen episode 1 yet. I need to. So we'll find out what I think about it. But I mean, again, if your comparison comes from the fact that they're working hard to increase rank, while they fight against some sort of malady, I guess we'll say, where it's sickness in Healer Girl and aliens or whatever in Flying Witches or whatever it's called. Then yeah. Oh, the show is literally about singing. Oh, interesting. So it's a bit more of a oh, what's the one I still need to watch? Pop culture's gonna kill me. Oh my gosh. Hello, E-Class. How are you doing? What is the... Starts with an M. Robot singing battle are both anime musicals. Oh, I forgot to say anime. Anime robot singing battle. That's Vivi. Vivi's a little different. Starts with an M. The heck is that called? This one's shaping up to be a musical. I'll be interested to see it then, because if it's actually musical wherein it's like Healer Girl where they're singing as they do stuff, may be interesting to me. If it's more like Tacto P Destiny where the song is literally how they fight, a little less exciting for me. But oh my gosh, how am I spacing on what the heck is this called? It starts with an M. Yeah, I've dropped to an 8 out of 10. No. It's a classic robot show. If I do classic robot anime, I have nothing else going on with the internet, so it could be somebody else in the house. The internet's being ruled from inside the house. Not Mazinger. No, it's not a Gundam. I know Gundam things. It's an old one, like from Mazinger, and literally when they fight, they use music. My gosh, where are you, pop culture? Idol show, maybe. Oh my goodness, how is it so hard to find? Macross! Macross. Macross literally uses singing. Oh my goodness, I've gone 8-bit. Oh no, I reduced connection. Oh my goodness, I swear to sweet Ghiblies. I swear to sweet Ghiblies. Hold on, let me just make sure the rest of the house isn't like... hold on. I hate when this happens. I'm being snapped. No! If I do that, does that help? There is basically nothing using the internet on my computer. So we'll see what the rest of the house looks like. All right, I'm about to go crazy. My down's pretty good. Not what I pay for, but it's okay. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I've got 17 up. Maybe that text did more than I think it did. But I'll just write ducking. All right. We're back to fine. Macross, in case that got lost in translation. I was trying to remember the word Macross. Macross uses idols and singing, quite a bit in its show. So I'm wondering if that's what's going on. The connection between Call of Night and Creepy Nuts. I'm guessing Creepy Nuts is did the music. I actually Creepy Nuts. When my wife and I were in Japan one time, we were looking at the side of a convenience store, and there were a bunch of signs for bands and concerts and CDs being released, and one of them just said Creepy Nuts, and I was like, oh my gosh, I may have a new favorite band. So I took a picture of it, and so I'm I'm familiar at least with the band Creepy Nuts. Are they doing the Call of the Night, or is it about them in the show? I do prefer, like, let me Gaki no koro kara yoru ga suki datta. You've heard the idea for the manga's title came from Creepy Nuts, and then they did the music. Oh, that's funny. Here, let me see, let me listen to some of this music, and I'll see if it's something I wanna react. Okay, it's got a little, feels like I'm in a pub, and there's a hipster band on stage. Yeah, this is very that electro jazz of Creepy Nuts, up and down. I'm liking it. Yeah. The best part about songs in Japanese is they can straight up use English like tunes and stuff, like putting on the Ritz or something, and then just say it in Japanese or have it a full Japanese lyric instead, and it sounds so much more interesting to me. I like this. I mean, I definitely like, for my mileage, I think uh Cold Rain with bloody rain, bloody power rain is the best of the season so far. I think the cool thing with Call of the Night is that even if the show ends up being like kind of boring or generic after a while, as far as like maybe the story or the beats go, that like just the basic idea is fun and interesting, of like a vampire girl and a guy, and how they interact. Like that's always going to be kind of fun when you take two people from like drastically different places and smash them together. um Okay, yeah, I gotta stop. That is jazzing me up. I love, like I said, I fell in love with Creepy Nuts after seeing a sign in Japan that said Creepy Nuts, and I was like, the hell's that mean, Bobby? And when I found out it was a band, I was like, oh heck yeah, we need to figure this out. But no, that is a ton of fun. But like I said, I think for my mileage currently, Cold Rain is taking the lead with bloody power rain, bloody rain power. What the heck is? Hold on. Bloody power fame. Sorry, bloody power fame. The intro song for Bastard is definitely like song of the season for me so far. I am I'm a huge fan of that. Oh my goodness, look at me. I have not even cracked open my craft sake. Today we are doing a Junmai Ginjo. I have had this one before. I quite enjoy it. I always like when we get these single serving cans. They're a ton of fun. So with the Junmai Ginjo, you're getting a very highly polished rice. Apparently this one got 91 points from the Los Angeles wine competition, which is sort of strange. Ooh, and it has some mythology on it. So let's talk a little bit about that. Is this not Japanese? That's hilarious. I think this is actually an Oregon rice. Hilarious. We have an American sake. This might be the first time. I'm not a fan of those blue Momokawa bottles. That's another Oregon sake brand. But the Yomi is a fun one. Ooh, Kampai. Okay. You got too excited by the first episode of Lyricus licorice recoil. So you'll wait for more episodes to come out before watching Call of the Night. Not gonna lie, you're glad they made that Rent a Girlfriend's rating has dropped into the 6s. I wanted to make the joke, Shikimori still a better love story than Rent a Girlfriend. Ooh, see, the difference is Rent a Girlfriend is at least an interesting and unique premise to anime, whereas Shikimori is high school rom-com, the 50 billionth. Let's before we get to anime, let's talk about Yomi for a second. And not this sake that is pretty good, that has that nice earthy feel of like licking the dirt fields that I enjoy. But actually like what Yomi is and Yomi means. Like Yomi is Shinto hell. So nah, the premise is trash. You don't think Rent a Girlfriend is in any way interesting? Like, no way? There's not like any amount Shikimori didn't put you to sleep? What? Maybe you just weren't tired. Is bad trash. No, it's trash. You guys are insane. I enjoy licking dirt fields. Yes. So I don't know how many of my actual like sake descriptions you've enjoyed. I don't want to hear what kept you up, Michael. That's inappropriate for the chat right now. I have only just cracked my sake. Give me a minute. Yomi referred to sleeping. Interesting. Let's see. Because Nemui or Nem something is the verb. But Yomi as like an area is like the land of darkness or the evil of darkness. You meant reading, not sleeping. Referred to reading. Interesting. No, so maybe the kanji's the same. Maybe it's like a kun and whatever the other reading is. But it is the land of the dead, and so you have so way back in the beginning in Shintoism, the gods Izanami and Izanagi were birthed from the 7 like ancestral deities. So you've got gods above them that made them, but then they were like, we don't want to hang out up here in Cloudland, and so Izanagi, who's the male of the 2 gods, stabbed his spear into the clouds, stirred it up, which made the sea, and pulled out the islands of Japan. And then him and Izanami went on to begin having kids. And so their first set of kids were Amaterasu, Susanoo, Tsukuyomi. Amaterasu, going to be the sun god in Shintoism. Tsukuyomi had a major place in that Tsukimichi anime that came out, where the guy like isekais, but he's ugly, so only the beasts like him. And then Susanoo, who's like the great warrior of man. And then as she is giving birth to more and more gods, because that's how Shintoism works, she eventually gives birth to the fire or the lava god. Hold on. It's actually very similar, if you've played Dark Souls, to Ceaseless Discharge. Basically just this big fire. Let me see if I can find the... You did not miss talking about the YuGiOh creator yet. We have not gotten there. We're just now talking about the land of the dead in Japanese. So cool to learn about Shintoism. Is this from the time of Kojiki and Nihon Shoki? Yes. They these are from like a lot of the older oral traditions. Go take care of the baby. Definitely Definitely go do that. It was born. Your third child? Yes, yeah. Little baby. We got a little baby photo on Twitter. Definitely check it out. But do hold on one second. Let me. What the heck is this thing's name? She gave birth to islands. The Kojiki specifically talks about Izanami's death and her tomb. What is the dang thing's name? Why is this so hard to find? He did put a pic on Twitter at least. I don't know if he did in like Discord or anything, but Discords get funky, so maybe it's smart not to. Oh my goodness. Izanami birth fire. Kagutsuchi. There you go. After giving birth to the fire god Kagutsuchi, Izanami was fatally burned. Fatally burned. So she died. But because she's a god, she just moved herself to Yomi. And so she heads over into Yomi and hides behind a screen. And then Izanagi comes to find her. And Izanagi, upon finding her, she's like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. You have to leave here. You cannot see me, because she's all dead and rotten and everything. And then so he turns and begins to leave, but he can't help himself. He turns around and looks at her, sees her rotten, desiccated corpse, and she's like, you see me, and like goes mad and starts chasing him, because she died and she's a mad god now. And so she chases him out of hell, out of Yomi, and as he escapes, he puts a giant rock in the door, and then he goes and he cries, and he cries 3 children, like his tears turn into children, which is weird. Let's see if I can find. Bathed himself in the sea, a number of deities. Okay, yeah, and then that's where Amaterasu, Tsukiyomi, and Susanoo were born from. Were from his tears after finding his wife dead. Up all night watching Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World's theme song on loop. Tears turning into children. They were ahead of their time. Hold on. What is the Harem in the Labyrinth? Hello, Steven. Wrenching in another chat. How goes the wrenching? Poor Izanagi. Yeah, so sad he gave birth with his tears. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna listen to this. I'm not gonna let you guys hear it. Okay. We're getting that classic J butt rock going. Always fun when you have that sort of Paramore style with like the female power voice with the guitar just driving from behind. I like that quite a bit. Getting a little softer, a little more gentle, drums hopping it around. No, it's okay, Paro Chinbaka. The nice ass is allowed. We're okay. Not a porn bot. Not a hentai bot. Anti-hentai bot brigade can relax. Just Michael talking about ass. And now it's kind of lost that chug. I don't know. I think maybe a minute 14 in, it starts to get real generic, just chunk going on. It loses the fun of the like Like some women have that real power growl with their voice that just sounds so cool. And then when you pair that up with a nice guitar or something, just a ton of fun. Just a ton of fun. The antithesis would either be just like a pop idol group or something, or I would put like Evanescence in the category of the anti of what I'm talking about. Like Evanescence has such a with her voice, while meanwhile they're like chug 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 chug, and it doesn't. I don't think it matches really well. I don't think it matches very well. The only part, you said the OP because the only part that's a dog girl is she's the best part of the theme. Oh, you're watching the theme, not the music. Okay. Where does Dog Girl land on your list of Monster Girl? I'm guessing Dog Girl, not Monster Girl, according to Michael, based on it's just ears and a tail. And loyalty, there's 3 things for me, but I don't know if that's enough for Michael. My guess, based on that, is that this is a non-Michael approved monster. I think she hot, but not a monster. Got it. I knew it. We need like a seal of approval, like the Nintendo seal of approval, but it's like Michael approved Monster Girl seal. We can stamp onto anyone this season that actually pops off as an approved Monster Girl. Wake Me Up Inside and Paramore's Ain't It Fun, and You Are the Only Exception. Wake Me Up is held, is run, is built on the shoulders of Wake Me Up! Wake up! Save me! Like, I enjoy that song. I love karaokeing that song because you can get someone who's good at just singing normal to sing the girl part. And then I can just chant along with the Wake Me Up parts. Don't get in another fight with the other person. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Keep everybody happy. Tell everybody else that we're all here just to have fun. You are the way. This monster girl is the way. She is not the monster girl. It is not the way. My queen. My queen. Oh my goodness. Paramore, Ain't It Fun, and You Are the Only Exception. Also, I mean, is that, what was the big Paramore song? Approved, not approved. I approve. Not Monster Girl. Wake me up before you go. No, the best song mashup that I always go to is the it's from that 70s show. And he's like, dude, I found a Kiss alarm clock. And it's like Gene Simmons' head. And it's like, I want to rock and roll all night and wake up every day. It's so funny. Can I do a Jordan Peterson impression? You really should clean your room before you worry about going online and being a social justice warrior, because one of those is going to improve your life and the other will only bring you pain, as I make it my goal in life to crush you with other people's money backing my book. DMX and Thomas the Tank Engine is pretty good. Have you hold on, where is the there was a Jordan Peterson clip going around Twitter that made me laugh my ass off. Uh, where hopefully did I comment on it? Can I see tweets I liked? Or do I have to? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a wonderful lobster in the flesh. Oh, here we go. Someone did an edit of it. This is like I don't care. So the like the over the screen bits, you go listen to Minder and Daylight and the flesh. Anime mashups are fun too, like Blend W. Uh Anime mashups are always fun too, especially when they're done right. Like when they do like anytime Snoop Dogg gets roped into a theme song, I always laugh at those. But I don't care what you think about Jordan Peterson. I have no idea what made him say these words. I don't even know if this is a deep fake. It's so funny though. So this edit has some weird like the holographing, or well, not holographing. What is the dang thing called? It does like overlays basically to make it even more hilarious. But I'm like 90% sure these were actually things that he said for some reason.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Oh my goodness. If you use the term woke to describe somebody else, you've lost your credibility. Completely. Like, oh, woke message, woke moralist, woke human. Your mom bought his book without knowing who he is. You know, to be honest, his book isn't bad. Like his first book, like what are the 14 principles? Is it oh, it's 12 rules for life. Bestseller. Don't get too hyped on bestseller. You can be a bestseller by selling like 10,000 copies. Which is, you know, if you sell 10,000 copies of a $12 book and you made $2 on it, here's 20K. Sure, it's pretty nice. But it's not like a world changing. Minus 10 points if you do not know what anime second season has Daylight as the theme song. Oh no, I'm losing 10 points now. Woke and SJW and leftists make me cringe when I hear them these days. Nobody can even define them. And the same goes both ways. Like when someone says fascist or Yahtzee online, you know, it's like most of the time they don't mean that. Like they mean someone that thinks that something shouldn't be like that's the crazy part. If someone calls someone a fascist because they think something shouldn't be controlled by the government, it's like that's kind of the opposite of fascism. So it just I don't know. I think a lot of that's why I try to stay away from it. It's funny. But to be fair, Michael, to your mom, the original 12 rules for life are not bad. They're not like problems. They're just silly. Like they're not let me see if I can find them here. I think this is it. Is this it? Yes, okay. Ari Ferretta. What is up, Channel 66? We are saying that it's okay to follow the 12 rules for life from Jordan Peterson. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to really make fun of him because most of these rules are things that are, you know, pretty normal, pretty, yeah, you know, maybe before you judge the world, take responsibility for your own life. Yeah, maybe take the log out of your eye before you reach for the splinter in your neighbor's. You know, care for yourself like you would for a loved one. You know, a lot of people think about other people first because they think down on themselves. And really, if you can't take care of yourself, then how are you going to take care of someone else? So, you know, it's important. It's very, very important. Paru definitely won that one. Pop culture, where are you? What do you mean, pop culture? Welcome. You can't welcome someone when you are gone in my time of need. I was trying to remember robo anime that has to do with music, and you were gone. Well, Channel 66, maybe you need to seek meaning through sacrifice, not happiness through pleasure, because it's more important that you your life means something at the end of the day, rather than you just be happy today. All good, pop culture. You take care of the phone. Saw a crab cake food truck the other day. Literally everything was crab cakes, hamburger, tacos, nachos. Ooh, that sounds good. Was it crab or was it crab with a K? Because depending on where you live, that might not be my favorite. Because let me tell you what, Dungeness crab is unbeatable, unfrickin' beatable. Oh, I like king crab. Oh, I think, you know, snow crab is pretty good. You know, I had a crab boil where we used soft shell crab. That was pretty good. Blue crab, that was pretty tasty. They're all garbage in the face of the great Dungeness crab. Am I talking about the space anime where the ending is just an alien pop concert? What do you mean? What is that? Is that the Daft Punk music video for the thing or whatever? Soft shells are pretty good fried, but here's the deal: pretty good fried. All I can think anytime I'm eating any kind of crab is this would be better crab if it was Dungeness. And it's not like it's rare or hard to get. Like, my buddy will go duck hunting. He doesn't eat ducks. He hates ducks. But what he does is he gets ducks. And then he crams a duck carcass into a crab pot, drops that crab pot in the bay over in Tacoma, pulls that thing up, and those crabs are climbing on the outside of the pot to try to get to where that duck is. Because ducks have so much oil and fat in them, they just, you know, leach out, and the crabs smell them from all around. So, like, you can get a ton of ducks, or a ton of crabs for, like, no money. Like, no money. And they're delicious. They're so good. They have that perfect balance of sweetness with, like, that salty brine of the ocean. Whew. You know, and I mean, they're king crab's good. Soft shell fried is good. You know, I went to New England. We got some crab cakes. They were pretty dang good. At the end of the day, though, I mean, if it's not Dungeness, why am I eating it? Kitty Bear, didn't you say you were going to sleep, or did you go to sleep, and is this a new personality talking to us? You should look up if crab fishing is okay at your pier. Yes, you should. And then all you have to do is put stinky, oily garbage in a crab pot and drop it with a long enough rope and a buoy. and then you'll come back with crabs. I don't know. Let's see. I think you're in the West Coast. Let's see. You can get Dungeness. Your daily bag limit is 10 though, so have some friends that get a license if you're gonna go out there for more than just 1 or 2 crab. You have to. They're probably gonna be a lot farther north. Like, I don't know specifically where you are, but they're probably gonna be more towards the like the San Francisco side of things, as opposed to the Sacramento side. I don't know your state. I know Japan better than I know the state of California. That's just, let's be honest here, all right? Sounds delicious. It's true. It's true. We'll have to make a list. No license is needed at your pier. You almost caught a crab with your hook once. Oh, perfect. Perfect. If you don't need a crab on there, you know, just go online and see what Dungeness crab look like. As of 7 p.m. on April 24th, 2022, recreational crabbers may not set or use crab traps for the rest of the Dungeness crab season. Setting and using hoop nets and crab snares is permitted. So get some hoop nets and crab snares, I guess. Get some rock crab. Looks like it's either rock crab or Dungeness based on where you are in Cali. But yeah, no, do it. Frickin' do it. I love it. I'm probably gonna actually finally go fishing this weekend. For more than just playing with baby bass at the dock. I'm not gonna read the rest of these rules. I am probably though going to do a screen capture. Do a screen capture of this. Wait, did I share the audio last time? I did, right? Yeah, share audio.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
I can't get enough of it. He's so funny. Oh my goodness. Why? Is there a problem with overfishing crabs? You know, there could be, but here's the real answer. Dungeness, as I said, are delicious. Frickin' delicious. And the more people that realize they're delicious and really easy to cook, like really, really easy to cook, the fewer people that may go out and buy crabs at stores and restaurants and that kind of thing in order to eat them there. And when you have a place like you do in San Francisco that is like the Dungeness crab place, like it's literally, it looks like a boat when you go in it, and it's right there at Fisherman's Wharf, and just you pay way too much, but it's a really fun experience to eat the crab. The people that own that business are on the local community board, and the local community board has a seat on, you know, local fishing and game, because they're involved with everything, and they say, you know what, you know, people maybe they shouldn't be using a crab pot, because crab pots are kind of cheating, you know. And there's a lot of weird rules where it's more like some people just don't want you to catch something, as opposed to it being like, oh no, there's not enough crabs, because like crabs they're freaking bugs. Like, they're bugs of the ocean. They're not, they literally eat the garbage that nothing else will eat. Like, they're not going away. Their food source isn't a problem. And you know, it's just I bet, especially with a rule like that where it's like starting April 28th, I can't see that being a, oh no, there's not enough crabs. Oh, the crabs, we gotta save the crab life. Trust me, the crab life will be around. Like Flames was the song for the second season of Tensei Shitara Slime Data Ken. Thank you for that information. Bum bum bum. All right, we talked about the Japanese land of death. We might as well talk about Japanese death now. We lost a great creator. Kazuki Takahashi, found dead in apparent snorkeling accident. They say apparent because, you know, the investigation is still ongoing. Good political analysis. Blaine, you didn't know about crabs' roles in the ocean. Yeah, they are. You know how like ants eat poop and detritus and all that other stuff? Crabs and lobsters and all of it are that of the ocean. And it's why lobster used to be prison food. And then they were like, oh, we can make this prison garbage food into a fancy food and charge rich people exorbitant prices for it. And suddenly lobster is rich people food. Okay. So the YuGiOh mangaka Kazuki Takahashi dies in a reported snorkeling accident at age 60. His body found floating off the coast of Nago City. Nago City being in oh my goodness. It's the vacation town of all of Japan, like the island that everybody goes to. Okinawa. So Okinawa is an area down there. Died looking for the pieces of Exodia that Yugi lost in the ocean. Oh. There's no such thing as too soon. That's freaking hilarious. The reason I mean, you know, I hope that's the reason. No such thing as too soon. That was funny. Oh, and let's be honest, this guy gave us like all the memes. Like, we'll go through this and then we'll talk about like the deeper bits of it. Everything in human society is so manufactured and fake. Yeah. It's like that old joke where someone's like, oh, well, then tell me what it is. And they say something, and then the other person says, oh, you made that up. And they say, everything's made up. Kind of is. Like, at some level, like, there's a reality behind what the words mean, but, you know, at some level, we kind of make up our own reality a lot of the times. It's the end of an era. We'll read this. And then we'll have a deeper compai afterwards. Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of the beloved manga series YuGiOh, has died at the age of 60 in what authorities believe to be a tragic snorkeling accident. As reported by NHK, the acclaimed mangaka was found floating 300 meters, approximately 1,000 feet off the coast of Nago City in Okinawa, Japan. After a passerby on a boat came across his body, didn't they? The Japanese Coast Guard reported, I very quickly go to conspiracy. Every time. I just have that brain. I have that brain that's like, how are they over there at the right time? Completely ignoring the fact that this is a vacation island that people are out of the coast on all the time. But, you know, my brain will do that. He was later identified, he was wearing snorkeling equipment when he was pulled out of the water. He was later identified as the famous YuGiOh creator when the guard linked his body with a white rental car that had been abandoned around 7 miles from the scene, used by Takahashi when he reportedly traveled to Okinawa alone. Authorities have begun to investigate the cause of Takahashi's passing, with reports that there were no noticeable signs of injury on his body. Ooh, drowning just sounds like the worst. Debuting onto the manga scene with Tokyo no Taka in 1990, Takahashi soon found worldwide success with the creation of YuGiOh in 1996. It follows 16-year-old Yugi Muto, a timid boy who was relentlessly bullied and longs to make a true friend. Everything changes when he puts together the mysterious Millennium Puzzle, gifted to him by his grandfather, who tells him that the relic will grant him his one true wish. What Yugi does not know, however, is that the artifact houses a spirit of an ancient pharaoh simply known as Yami. Suddenly playing host to this shadowy entity, the dark spirit lies dormant within Yugi, only coming out when either he or his friends are threatened to challenge their foes to deadly shadow games that highlight the true nature of a person's heart. Games are the centerpiece of Yu-Gi-Oh's story, with the most notable one being Duel Monsters, ultimately spawning the immensely successful Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game in reality. Takahashi was a huge fan of games throughout his entire life, basing Yu-Gi-Oh on his belief that the player is the hero. The series has become one of the highest grossing media franchises in history, with the TCG grossing over $9 billion as of January 2021, and the original manga receiving 2 successful anime adaptations and countless spin-offs. Although he did not write or illustrate any Yu-Gi-Oh manga series after the run of the original story, Takahashi has had taken on a supervisory role over the various sequel manga before his death. All right. Story time. Don't trust the atoms. They make up everything. Funny. At my school, Pokemon was outlawed. I went to a private Christian school, and at a private Christian school, if the creatures evolved, that would be a problem. And they said nope. And also kids were fighting, and so it was an easy way to say, hey parents, look at evolution, we can ban this. And all the parents voted yay, and the Pokemon cards went away. Pokemon cards, I remember in like first grade, trading my Holo Charizard for a Machamp and a Blastoise, and then wanting to undo that and the card being all tore up. So I was like, well, I'll keep the cards that aren't tore up. But then we said, well, we still want to play some kind of card game, but like normal cards are dumb. Nobody wants to learn real poker. We just pretend like we know how to play poker because we're kids. And the one kid said, I know how to play, and then just made up everything. And so we found Yu-Gi-Oh! And the cool thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that in the game, they play the game. No, Yugi and Poke were allowed. That was in Ukraine, though. I'm sure Pokemon is allowed now at that school. But at the time, this was in the big, like, these devil monsters are trying to do your children. And like, my parents were like, you know, that's not even what evolution teaches. This is more like metamorphosis of, if anything, and it's just a silly gimmick to like increase the number of creatures in this show. Like, my parents were reasonable, but a school full of parents of children in that area were not. So Pokemon went away, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Got to stay because Egypt and that stuff is historical, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, in Yu-Gi-Oh! They teach you Satanic Panic. I'm not that old, Parachin. I had Pokemon in first grade. Saying Satanic Panic, but I mean, same idea. Like, anything that could corrupt the youth, those parents are gonna freak out about, I'm sure. But the anime taught you how the game worked. Not really. Like, the game in the show is not the game on paper, but the game in the show and the game on paper are a lot closer than the Pokemon battles were to the Pokemon card game. Like, Pokemon card game, you're like, energy, this, I do that, I blah. And it's so much more like Magic versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very, like, it's a very dummy card game. So for kids who are like, I want to learn how to play this card game, it was really quick and easy to just buy a deck and play it like it was on TV, right? And we would be playing, and then you get a nosy teacher and is like, oh, you kid, are you playing Pokemon over there? We're like, no, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, like, you could just tell uh you could just tell that they didn't really know what anything we said meant. But they knew it wasn't Pokemon, and Pokemon was the one that was banned. And so we got to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So Yu-Gi-Oh! Played a huge part of my recesses, because this may surprise you based on my dapper, jacked nature, but I was the tiny wimp child in elementary school. I was part of the nerd kids, and while I have some ability to be a social butterfly, like I can talk and I have conversations with about anybody if I just talk to them and have a good time. My natural tendency is much more towards the nerd crew. Yes, Satanic Panic back in the 70s and 80s. I think it had a lot more to do with heavy metal music and dark evil music, and music that we would look at now and kind of laugh at it not really being that heavy or metal. But he gave me. Now I know he didn't make the card game, but he wrote the manga that was about the card game and had some amount. Dungeons and Dragons, true? Yes, exactly. That was your Satanic Panic. But he wrote the manga that was about the card game that gave me something to do as a little nerd kid in elementary school. And then, as we aged, and you kind of move in and out to the next anime or the next show or the next school, and then you're suddenly Newgrounds is a thing, and you're like, whoa, there's the internet. And you realize that there's a whole group of people that you can immediately communicate to by saying, you've activated my trap card. I'll activate Pot of Greed. I've collected the Exodia. Like you have an entire language that you can communicate with other people online. Like I think the feral imp was involved in my my emails or accounts, Neopets and stuff for years, because I thought it was just the coolest monster. The stupid little green feral imp that really didn't do much and was just like, I place feral imp in defense mode, and then it gets sacrificed for something else. But I thought it was such a cool monster, such a cool little creature, that it really impacted what I was like, well, you know what, I want to have this involved in names and things that I do online. Chilling out with the crew in the schoolyard, exactly. Me and my boys. Left arm, right arm, left leg, right leg. Here we got an extra leg because, there's 6 of us, but there's only 5 pieces of Exodia, and then I'm the head, so, we can't have 2 heads. That would be crazy. The myth of the Dark Magician Girl card, where the Dark Magician Girl was naked. You're like, what? Maybe we'll get the naked Dark Magician Girl is in the next pack. It's in the next pack release. And then when you get online, you're like, oh, it's a Japanese original. We've got to find it on the online. We got to get it, original from Japan. We don't have money. We don't have credit cards. How do we buy stuff with lunch money online? And it gave you a point of contact that allowed you to have that initial conversation with other people, that allowed you to talk and branch out. And, you could start out with silly Yu-Gi-Oh jokes because, it was a fun show. And then you could talk about your favorite duelist, about how Keith was the coolest and how Murica should be the real winner every time because they're using machines. And, you could talk all this silly stuff and then move into a friendship from something so stupid as a card game that they played in an anime based on a manga written by a guy who gave me things to talk about and a way to connect with people who will never know that I exist. But because they had the idea, because they had a story, because they wanted to let the world know, it reached out and it touched people across the world. And I think that impact is lost when we think about, oh, it's a $9 billion industry. It's this crazy, there's all these spin-offs, and we really get into so much about like the product and lose sight of the fact that there was just some dude who wanted to tell a story. And that story was so interesting and had so many little quirks that he gave weird little nerds across the planet something to talk about and to connect on. So to him, Kampai. Oh. That's why you really enjoyed this manga. Destroy all of humanity. It can't be regenerated. About Magic the Gathering. Oh my goodness. You played chess till you taught your 6-year younger brother to play chess, and his first match against a chess master won his game. Brother kept kicking your butt playing chess. I am such a weird chess player. I dominate most people that I know. But the second I meet someone who's like, oh yeah, I play chess, they kick my ass every time. Every time they kick my ass in chess. Bandit Keith, now that's a character. Love me, Bandit Keith. Bandit Keith, my Valentine. Thank you. I try to keep my speeches real, and I try to only have them if I have something to say. I didn't really have much to say about the voice actors that we lost about a month ago, but when it comes to the guy that gave me something to talk about, I'm gonna talk about it. Your brother sounds like an anime protagonist. Yeah, he's the lead protagonist from Hikaru no Go, but chess instead. So whatever the shogi one is that just started. I am excited for that. I want to learn more about shogi. I am going to give this a quick scan just to make sure that we don't have any spoilers. I don't want to get too spoiled on Call of the Night. But there's an article from our boy Louis Kemner coming out telling us what we need to know before the summer 2022 anime starts. So I'm hoping there's nothing here. Okay, this is all like very first episode stuff. Kemnar, no! no, Kemnar has some other things too. Where to watch, where to read. There's all the volumes at Barnes and Noble. You're great at chess puzzle and doing the written test. Actual playing you sucked at. Your brother was the other way around. Funny. Kemner is also talking about my isekai life, so maybe that's the Shikimori, and this one is a little bit more interesting. But then he also is talking about Engaged Kiss, so I don't know what to say. He's picked quite a few to talk about this season, so I think right now we're safe. We're safe, I think. This whole thing is just kind of like episode 1, honestly. So let's hold off on this. I don't want to go straight up into episode 1. But I've got an older one that might be interesting. Isekai Life with a second class. That show was awful. Was awful? You mean is awful? Is awful. Let me correct you there. You're one paper away from being a chess master, but papers mean shit when it comes to real life. Your brother failed all his paper tests for chess, but he won a total of 59 matches against chess masters and has 16 losses. The fact that you know is like on another level. Like, I couldn't even come close to telling you what my record is at any point in chess. Let's talk about the L word, shall we? Shall we? I believe I found this one as a hyperlink. So the CBR hyperlinks are doing work on this one. So from Shinto Hell to A Great Man's Death to what are Lolita and why are they popular in anime? Loser? Question mark? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Like if you mean lolis, like a lollipop, like you lick a lollipop. No, like a Lolita. From Orimo to Danganronpa, Lolita fashion has been the picture of innocence since the 1990s and continues to be popular in anime today. So right off the bat, we're talking more on the Lolita fashion style as opposed to the Lolita character type. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see where Molly Kishikawa wants to take it. There are many popular styles of clothing worn by characters of different anime series. You said let's talk about the L word. Yes, the L word is lollies. Lolita. Not loser. I always forget there's a delay. Yes. Yes, the L word is Lolita. Lolly. Specifically gothic Lolita. Because it looks like we're talking fashion, which I think, when I think fashion Lolita, I always think gothic Lolita. Even if it's a pink gothic Lolita, you still having that Victorian style, always, that's gothic Lolita to me. Sailor Moon has school uniforms and 90s fashion. Attack on Titan has military uniform and medieval style clothing. And Dragon Ball has the fighting gi that has become synonymous with the series. Most. EGL is a subgenre of cosplay. Elegant gothic Lolita. What makes it elegant? Just the length and intricacy? Like it's literally elegant? Yue from Arifureta. Fureta. Oldest lolly you know off the top of your head? Are they older or younger than the Dawn Witch from Dawn of the Witch? Lots of frills and intricate designs. All right, cool. So we're getting elegant. I think that's a fun style. It reminds me of tea parties, and I freaking love tea parties. I freaking love it. I love a crappy British tea that's so bitter you have to put some amount of sugar or cream into it. You know, it's just like otherwise your gums recede into like your sinuses if you take a sip of this black bitter English tea. So you put sugar and cream in it like a child, like a baby who has to like sweeten up their drinks. But then you get to have all of the great little sandwiches, like little tiny like egg salad sandwich, little ham and cheese sandwich, little watercress sandwiches. And yes, I mean I love tea parties because of the trumpeter swan. Because the swan duck goose thing in that would always get watercress sandwiches and eat the watercress out of it. And when you had high tea, you got to choose which tea, and the food was excellent. There's some dang good tea out there, but there's something about a really bad tea, like a British tea. Like So I did a tea shop for a while that was importing Chinese teas from the Yunnan province. And, you know, we've got some green tea, we've got the jasmine pearl, we had the like silver leaf, we had some pu'er, we had some other stuff like that. And it just was you know, like you get really good teas where you can taste a lot of flavors in it, but like some of those British teas are just, they're the ground ash that they leave behind in the factories, and you just put them together and you stick them in a bag and you throw them in some hot water and wait, and you end up with British tea, and it's just awful. But when it's been sweetened, you're like, this is a little fun treat. I quite like this. And then you get like the little shortbread cookies, and then like the other cookies that have like a dollop of like creme fraiche on the top and like all this kind of thing. I freaking love it. It's so good. Oh, so good. What did I miss? You think one of the Dawn Witch is around the same age? Yeah, I'm something like that. When you had high tea, you got to choose what tea, and the food was excellent. Yes. If you can find a place that does high tea, there's a place that's like an hour away from me, way down south, that does a high tea that is amazing. I'll do it with my mom. Like we'll call ahead and we'll be like, hey, we're doing tea, and they have like the best scones. And we'll go there and get that. Ton of fun. You know, one older than both that looks a lot younger, and you hate it. Shinobu's 400 years old. Trumpeter Swan, been too long since you've heard that, ain't it? The truth. I'll give the swan a trumpet and he can go doot doot. Ground ash. It's true. Like, the difference between bag tea and tea that's like whole leaf is like the whole leaf, as they're roasting it and drying it, they're like, oh, this is good whole leaves, we'll put this in the whole leaf bin. And then anything that doesn't pass the whole leaf test gets ground up and thrown into bags. And like the whole Silk Road was really well, we can finally get rid of our garbage sawdust. Let's send that off to the Brits, who will think it's delicious. We'll tell them it's an ancient herbal mix, and they'll be quite astounded back home. Oh, that stuff is so funny. If I've read the Spy X Family manga, that sounds like the tea Yuri makes. Probably. Oh, the tea Yuri likes. Tea likes Yuri. I get you. Tea does like Yuri, doesn't it? What about the tea parties from Otome game? Writes Yuri. Gi has been synonymous with the series. Most of the time, the styles worn by the characters are rather practical, or something a normal person would wear on an average day. Yes, my average day in space! There is one style, however, that has a unique history. Why is unique history? Am I not reading something about unique history? Paradise Kiss still holds up as one of the best anime about fashion. Okay, that's an interesting sounding anime, but why is it unique history? The tea Yor makes that Yuri likes. Which Otome games? No, not Otome games as in the genre. Otome game, the world of dating sims is tough for mobs. The anime from the spring 2022 season. The world of mobs, Hamefura. Yeah, the anime that we got last season that I'm watching dubbed, because the dub voice cast is a blast, and I'm having quite a bit of fun listening to them, and I'd like to hear more from them. It's just a fun time. But like, tea parties are how the guys woo the girls in that world, so it's a fun one. Unique history, and is always a delight to see the Lolita style. People do not know the ages in Arifureta will call Satoru Mikami a P, yet Yue is the P because Satoru Mikami is underage. Also, Tio Claris with 563 years is a P. Oh my goodness. Otome, isekai, manga are a whole genre, you know. I I guessed at that, but my guess was only based on villainous. My life is a villainous in the other world, whatever the heck the real title of that one is, and this one. Like the fact that there's two that have anime tells me that there's a billion doujins, and if there's a billion doujin, there's a million manga. So there has to be a genre, there has to be an aisle in some animate over in Japan that will be all about that. So I guessed I was, but I didn't know. I didn't know. So now I do know. Oh, Lolita fashion is highly influenced by French Rococo and Victorian fashion trends, usually coming off as doll-like. It's only doll-like because that's what, like, the dolls of the time would wear, because that's what the girls wore. Girls like to put dolls in clothes that they wear, and so Victorian dolls that are pretty famous will wear Victorian clothes, like, come off as doll-like. The only doll-like thing is the body they go on. There are many... Wait, is he underage, though? Not sure, since the world is fantasy medieval and ages of consent were a lot lower back then. Oh, of course he's of age. It's a him in a medieval fantasy. Like, isn't age birth in those days? Oh my goodness. There are many types of Lolitas, including goth, a best Lolita, sweet, hime, sailor, and other aesthetics. Hold on, sailor Lolita? I'm gonna do this in a separate window. Sailor Lolita. Someone named Lolita singing a song called Sailor. It is just cutesy sailor outfits. Hold on, I can share this. This isn't. Yeah, this is safe. Sorry, I just wanted to really double check. Last thing I need is a booba on screen when I do this. Here is quote unquote Sailor Lolita, with probably this one being my favorite because we have the dual dress going on. With this one here being my second favorite because I like the tiered ruffle. Always a fan of that. You know, if you were to extend that down towards the calves and you get that sort of mermaid look, I always like that design. But having it up on the waist, very, very fun. This is just a sailor outfit. This, I can see it being a Lolita, but really with those, the ones with the more ruffly bits. Those are the real Lolitas. And other aesthetics. In anime, one of the most common types to be depicted is the gothic Lolita. Rurigoko from Oreimo is one of the most well-known Lolitas in anime. Wrong. I was talking about what modern day people think watching the anime with no knowledge of the ages of the characters. That's true. Like, everybody needs to remember that Jotaro is like 17. That's why when he goes to smoke a cigarette, they censor it because he's not old enough to smoke. And they needed to censor it for TV in Japan because Jotaro, the monster of a human, is 17. Either way, I'd be weirded out by their arrangement in most other scenarios since they have their codependency / Stockholm syndrome thing going on. You're okay with Yue being a 300-year-old in a 13-year-old body. You know what? Okay. The actual emotional relationship is problems before you get to the appearance age, then yeah, maybe we should work on that because codependency is not good, i.e. Shigemori. What? Rosen Maiden also features several different types of Lolita styles. The exact date of Lolita's inception is unknown. What? How? All right, team, we're going to find the exact date of Lolita's inception because I can't believe that it would be unknown. But it's believed that it began growing in popularity around the 1980s. It was influenced by a trend called Otome Kei, which emphasizes the idea of maiden. During this time, there was a rise in popularity for cute things. This in turn would evolve into doll Kei, which would then turn into Lolita. These trends were primarily popular in the Harajuku district of Tokyo. It's true. There is a lot of crazy Lolita stuff in Harajuku, specifically on Takeshidori Street, but even off of that street. Until you cross the street, because as soon as you go across the street, suddenly Harajuku becomes streetwear capital of the world. It's crazy. I love it. You're okay with the appearance because the relationship is string for other reasons. They didn't choose each other. They were both forced to work together, and it developed into what we have now. Exactly. Like I said, there's always... Oh my goodness, relationships are so much more than the physical attributes of the two people. Always, 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 always are. You know, a fully adult-looking human who acts like a child would be a bigger issue for me than someone who is a fully adult human who looks like a child. You love Rosen Maiden. Rosen Maiden. The style was part of a movement among younger Japanese citizens to carve out their own identity when society tries to hammer down the nail that sticks out. In the 1990s, the style became more widely accepted with the success of visual kei bands like Malice Miser, whose member Mana went on to create his own Lolita label called Moi-Mime Moi-Te. In 2009, the Japanese Minister of Foreign Affairs created a program that assigned kawa taishi, or ambassadors of cuteness, to try and help promote tourism in Japan. Since then, the style has been seen a slow decline in popularity with the advent of fast fashion, as not only is it much cheaper, but there's also better availability. As with most niches, certain Lolita prints or styles are limited or rare, thus being more expensive. Many fans also handmade their own dresses in the early 90s, so buying secondhand is common in the culture. Rosen Maiden, if that's from Arfreda, no, Rosen Maiden is a different anime entirely. I think, right? Isn't that what we just read? Yeah. Rosen Maiden is basically Gothic Lolita, the anime. Here you go. Share this one. I wish I could share two things at the same time. That would be cool. Rosen Maiden. Looks are deceiving. Never trust looks. But what are they deceiving? What are the looks deceiving today? As you can see, it is Gothic Lolita distilled into anime form. The term Lolita refers to the novel of the same name, although it doesn't hold the negative connotations that have stemmed from the word. The novel, written by Vladimir Nabokov, is told from the unreliable point of view of a man who grooms and abuses a 12-year-old girl he calls Lolita. Despite the actualization of the novel and Lolita herself, the street fashion trend doesn't emphasize this aspect. Good. Rather, it focuses on the innocence of childhood and the elegance of dolls. There's nothing inherently sexual about the style. It's a way to express one's love for grace and cuteness. It isn't about what a person looking at the wearer feels, but how the wearer feels about themselves. Couldn't you say this about any fashion? Isn't this just like a generic... Fashion is about how the person wearing the suit feels, not how people feel when they see you in the suit. When I was 24, I went with my 24-year-old girlfriend to the swimming pool. We paid your ticket, got money. Returned for a 14-year-old. My girlfriend got money back for an adult. when she asked why I paid less. Oh, that's a silly story. Lady said, I thought you were going to swim with your son. The shouting that followed still has me laughing today. That's hilarious. Save that memory. Keep that one in the bank, 'cause that's a fun one. This association with innocence is what most likely drives the inclusion of characters who partake in the style in anime. Many Lolita characters fall into the gothic aesthetic, meaning they dress in dark, usually black clothes, and tend to be seen as creepy. They still have that air of innocence about them, but at the same time, they are used to balance out other bright and bubbly characters. Alice from Tamers, Iruri from Oriemo, Cyan from Shobai Rock, and Celestia Ludenberg from Danganronpa are just a few that can be found throughout various series in a number of genres. Is YuGiOh a monster girl? She's a vampire, but she only has to drink blood to regain energy, otherwise she doesn't have to eat at all, and her age is completely unrelated to her being a vampire. Also no weakness to light. You feel most gothic Lolitas are also showing their quirkiness, though? Yeah, would you put a like Chunibyo in that gothic Lolita category just because of some of the funny dark clothes that they wear, even though they're not like the full-on dress Lolita, but a Chunibyo will wear like street vampire clothes, right? Would that be enough to put them into a Lolita? I think you have a bigger question, Michael, as to whether or not YuGiOh is a vampire, period, before you worry about her being a monster girl. Because, by my definition of the inhumanity of needing to drink blood to regain energy, like humans don't have to do that, and humans have to eat, which she doesn't have to eat, and she's 300... 1, 2, 3, monster girl for me. That's how I do it. But I think you need to decide if that's even a vampire in the first place. That's before the line in my book. Pretty much all the girls in that show are for me. Gotcha. Well, 1, 2, 3. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, that's for me. Or monster for me. Done. Finish that one. Finish that one. You know that this is vegan friendly? It's also gluten-free and kosher. Let's see. First, Lolita fashion. History. Lolita began in Harajuku in the 1980s when Omotesando and Takeshita-dori streets in the Harajuku district were closed to traffic on Sundays. Styles were cataloged. Here we go. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? They don't really know when it started or when the first Lolita occurred. We really can't put down a date, because that would require me Googling when did the first Lolita occur and clicking on the Lolita fashion wiki, because there's an entire .fandom.com of Lolita fashion. And as I read, it says it began in the 80s. Back when Omotesando and Takeshita-dori, so Takeshita-dori is the main one that everybody knows because right now that's the big tourist one. They were closed to traffic on Sundays, allowing youths to gather in Yoyogi Park and the surrounding streets. This is also near Meiji Jingu, which is a very popular shrine with, again, Yoyogi is a massive park and this is a really big shopping district. The shopping district, of course, more important now. Youths and street performers started appearing in wild, unconventional outfits with gradually developed into recognizable styles such as Lolita, Gyaru, and Kogel, Dakota, and Ganguro. These styles were cataloged by a street photographer, Shoichi Aoki, in his magazine's Street, started in 1985, and Fruit started in 1997. So we have Street, a magazine from 1985. Lolita fashion was popularized with the establishment of brands such as Baby, The Stars Shine Bright in 1988. So we know that there were bands. 1988. Oh, don't be nude. Okay, cool. Every link. Not a booby. I swear, YouTube, this is... I mean, I'm not even monetizable yet, so we'll worry about that later. But it's been cataloged in 1985. So between 85 and 88, we can assume that it's okay. StreamYard got taken down 3 times. YouTube Uranus, but you're here. Hail chat. What is going on, Steven? They also closed the main streets of traffic of Kiev, so the pedestrians can chill on Sunday. Fun. Well, I mean, maybe it'll be fun later. I don't know. Is Kiev safe to have fun in yet? I don't actually know off the top of my head. We had a Johnny Depp trial that basically nuked all news of the Ukraine. 13-year-olds shouldn't be in bars. That's true. That's too much info. New PM in Japan. Not official, not the expected one. Interesting. So we can basically pinpoint 1980. Like, let me pull up the first. So Street Magazine, Japan, 1985. If there is a Kiev is pretty safe, but it does suffer airstrikes from time to time. It's pretty safe, but sometimes there's a couple airplanes with bombs of some kind. It's pretty normal. But maybe if I do street number 1. That's number 31. Fruits number 1. You're also in the U.S. News cycle is ruthless. Went from COVID to Crane to shooting, to Depp to shooting to Roe to What do people care about right now? I don't know. Get on Twitter. What's trending? Oh, it's Tug's tits. What do we do? Crane is fine. They only have 46 biolabs. Yeah, I think that's how many we have in my city. We're a very biological place. Why is this so hard for me to find? I could find that other thing. That's not what I want. 5 rubble aren't. What? I have no idea what's going on. That I cannot show. This is fashion. That's fashion. This is street. What do I have to search? Archive? Archive? New digital archive of Street Magazine? Okay. I don't even know what that means. What's going on in chat? Personally, you wouldn't take that level of disrespect. Battle of Culm? You have no association with that currency. Airstrikes are just a normal thing now. There's a curfew, so people aren't caught in them. Or you sit in your basement or shelter to avoid them. Life goes on. I don't know when you hear that, but you're welcome. Oh my goodness. Imperial Russell 5. Yeah, I don't know what any of this is. I'm not even gonna pretend to know. Get me to this archive of freaking Japanese street magazine so I can read the first time shooting in Paris street number 1 to number 2 are not actually my photos. You hired someone else, a photographer. Number 6, my debut as a street photographer. He wasn't a photographer before that. This is impossible. Oh, I have to buy this? Hell no. Get out of here. This is a magazine from the 80s, and I just want to see if there's a picture of a Lolita in it. Oh? Hold on. No, it's just the way Google does stuff. Dang it. I thought we had it. I thought we had it, team. Dang it. Well, I'll do more research outside of this. See if I can find it. Wait, hold on. 1985-01. Ooh, archive.org. Basic. Isn't that a programming language? It is. I found a programming. Wow, the internet's insane. The internet is insane. Oh my goodness. I'm looking for the Gothic Lolita magazine so that we can figure out when Gothic Lolitas came up. And the Internet Archive was like, oh, you know what? I got Basic magazine. You mean like Basic, the programming language on freaking 3.5 floppies? Not even 5 1/4. We can cram them into a. Can't I search on 4chan? Yeah, if I want the wrong answer. What, have you never been to 4chan in your... Look at this. Look at this. Gorilla Man teaches a little white girl how to code in a Japanese magazine. What is this? We're programming on the Toshiba and the MSX, and look at this, all these keyboards. This keyboard can increase your cartridge RAM. Like what? $160. Like 16,000 yen is like 160 bucks. Ass Love Forever, aka Alf, dropped a like, running away again. A good thing that's all you dropped. Thank you, Ass Love Forever. Always enjoy seeing you with your magical like attack. You want to print something? Gosh, I hope there's not just a random booby, but I'm fingers crossed on ancient Japanese censorship in order for this to be an okay magazine for me to scroll through. Fight Stick! The MSX Fight Stick! How much is this thing? Hold on. No, don't turn the page. There we go. The MILF edition! Mods actively use the We Hate Greeks board on 4chan. What are you all, students of Michael Harris? Prophet. Oh my goodness, that made me giggle. It's only like 550 bucks. Maybe even less with the current exchange rate. The yen is down compared to the dollar right now. Brother rocking it even back then. Printer capital of the world. Hold on, what do we got here? We got an actual stereo system. Drive now. Hold on, let's say a Pancon. Panasonic console, maybe? I don't know actually what that means. Pancon. Audio video. Get another copy of... There are 268 pages of this. And now we learn to program in BASIC. Wow! Imagine if you had one of these, like, we have a maybe giggle. My money don't jiggle. It folds. Yes, but do they have laser discs? Laser discs? Goodness, what do you think this is? Your brother's a programmer. He used to program radar software for the Dutch Navy. Lost his job because the woman he married. We have a computer like history museum here. You jiggle jiggle, don't fold. It's actually like jingle jingle. This crap fascinates me. Like, does anybody else just laugh at like look at these drawings. Look at these pictures. We were just talking about how somebody was like spending their life trying to tell a story. Somebody showed up and was like, I'm going to draw this really cool like dog yokai. It's a yokai because we see the little fox flame here. So it's probably more like a fox yokai. Talking to this monk dude, and the monk like beat like, is this Japanese for debugging? Did this monk just debug the program? Or is it the game that they just programmed? He married a Russian lolly. She's only 4 feet. Well, however, chop 2 of those off because humans should only have 2 feet. Here's how to program alien game, Blue Stone. Just boxing game. Just fascinating. Dust Cleaner 2. Oh, it's amazing. Ultraman. Ultraman. Not Ultraman. Ultraman. Because in Japanese, their alphabet doesn't have L's. It has R's. And so typically when they do translations into English, they'll see the Ru and they'll translate it into the L. So if someone dropped a Ru and they were like, oh, it must be Ultraman instead of Ultraman. This stuff is so great. But money don't jingle jiggle. It folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle. For sure. Makes me want to wiggle wiggle. You know, 6'2", riding in a Fiat. Something, something, something. You really gotta see it. I get a tomato for that pun, Blaine. Oh, well, you're welcome. I'm always excited for a pun or two. Flied lice. My favorite to this day is the zoo that didn't translate the R into an L and gave us the potberry pig. I think it was the Osaka Zoo in Tennoji. And they have a little petting zoo area, and it just has this little sign that says potberry pig. Oh my goodness, I love it. Like walking around with his daughter until you realize she's 36. Some people are just like that. It's my only pro lolly argument that I have in the world is that there are some females who are just tiny. It's also my pro giant booba argument. There are some females with giant booba. So why would any of them be not great? Japanese subcultures, 2012 chapter title Harajuku, the youth is silent rebellion. Try this one. I'll try this one. No distinction between B and V or L and R. That is true. Goddamn Mongolian. We're trying to break my Shiwa. Yeah, they don't have a C either. It is always that she. Good call on that one. Sase su say. Yeah, because chi doesn't exist, or C doesn't exist, right? Chihuahua. You like Giant Booba? Good. I'm glad you like Giant Booba. Everybody needs to like everything. When it comes to what we've deemed culturally appropriate. And all we really care about is the maturity level of the couple. So as long as the maturity level has been met, we should be okay with all sizes and all types. None of this, oh, that's an unreasonable expectation. It's all unreasonable. It's a game where people jump super high or are really super strong, or we want people their feet pissed like their peak physical like state. Like, Get over it. Tape it to your wall and work out so you can be as close to that as possible. Did I ever see the anime Aiken? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. It's always she instead of C. Good catch. Good catch. That shitty wall. I got Bloomsbury Connection, Bloomsbury Fashion Central. My issue is this is a 2012 book, so I'm wondering if it's gonna get us into the actual history. Is it the one with the banana? Maybe. I know it's the one with the yogurt slide. Hazel on YouTube has a really good video on Aiken. You say unrealistic, but like the problem with saying that any of it is unrealistic is then telling that woman who's like 1 in 10 billion that she doesn't exist, right? Like there is someone who in a really weird coin flip of genes looks just like that. Don't tell her she doesn't exist. Just be like, not everybody. Most of it you've seen is from AMV Hell. Unrealistic proportions on each of the girls. Yeah. Yes. 100%. I feel like I just saw a GIF. Because it's one of those where it's not the proportions that are the craziest part. It's the gravity. It's the lack of gravity. They'll turn, and then as they turn, you just get this for like 10 seconds while they're giving their line, and then it just like like the little door stopper, like little spring door stopper where you go twang. It's like every time they move, it's just like every time. No real cheat chest, I'm guessing, acts like that. Yeah, probably not, because most real chests behave with gravity, which is 9.8 meters per second squared. In anime, gravity doesn't attach to booba material. It's part of the world building, really. It's what explains how they can have giant mech, because in real life, giant mech would fall down to their own weight. It would be insane to try to build something strong enough that would actually hold up a mech, right? But in anime, gravity works differently. Booba material and Gundanium don't get attracted to Earth at the same rate as everything else. And so that's where you get all the jiggle. She folds. That's true, my apologies. No need to apologize. No need to apologize. We're all trained to say, oh, that's unrealistic. Oh, that's not real. But we just gotta remember, deep down, somewhere, someone is that real. Wait, Google Image does GIFs now, doesn't it? Talking about unrealistic, the game Silk Road, when you go into AFK sales mode as a female character, one of the modes looks like one of your stepsisters. You just put it on a maid outfit. When I started that one, you got hit in the head. Everything you say always makes me question what you're saying. I don't know what it is about it, but it just, I always have to read it, and then I'm like, what in the world are we saying right now? We're talking about Japanese animations, so none of these characters are real people. True! Here are the not real people! You can see, go across. Normalish. What? I need normal, bigger. What? Why is there a bear? I don't know. I'm gonna click one of these and it's gonna be a problem, but this is what everyone has a problem with, is her. That's the one that everybody has a problem with in the show. And yes, if any of these were a GIF, then you would see it's just constant. Blanebot? Yeah. Oh, there's the banana. Is this what you're talking about? Is this the banana? Is this the Minions meme that you're talking about? Banana. Your stepsister looks like a game character. Yeah. 8-bit Blaine again. No, it is dipping down. It is down. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm looking at this search you gave me here, Steven. I'm not seeing an exact answer like we were looking for. But that's okay. I think 1980. Oh, yawn. 1985 works. 1985 was the first sightings of Lolita in anime. So before my stream goes to garbage because the internet around here likes to just tank when other people are doing things on it, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you much, everyone, for joining me again for a wonderful, wonderful stream. Always enjoy talking with everyone. Got a little dark, got a little bright, got a little dark, and we joked about it. You know, it was a good time. I think that was a fun episode. I'm definitely stoked to come back tomorrow. Probably running a fun time Friday tomorrow. The wiki suggests 1970s. Interesting. Your Nintendo Switch radicalized you. Lesbo Tome game did it. All right. Good night and go Krakens. Oh, hockey, I see. That is our hockey team over here. And they have the coolest logo. Okay, I'm not leaving yet. I got to talk about the Krakens logo. So the Krakens have two logos. One logo that's okay. Another logo that's one of the coolest logos you could ever have made for a city. All right, nobody cares about that one. Here's their primary logo. So it's kind of, you know, we've got the tentacle, we've got the little suction cups going on over here, so it looks like a Kraken and all. You're like, all right, cool. But like really, like Seattle teams, the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Kraken. Before that, we had the Thunderbirds, which is more about like the Native American tribes that we have. We had the Sonics for a while. All that kind of stuff. Mixing the Space Needle, the thing everybody thinks about when they think about Seattle, with an anchor is the coolest thing on the planet. You are anchoring the Space Needle, Seattle. You are giving it a point of this is where we centralize. We're in Seattle. We are marine. Like we are all of these things that have to do with nautical, right? Being here by the bay and being here with the town. Like this is with how into their team Seattle gets and how much we feel like we are on the field. We really get into that for a long time. I freaking love this logo. And unless someone pays for a ticket, I will not go out of my way to watch a Kraken's game ever. But this is one of the coolest things where I will buy gear because this logo exists. I love this thing. You need to put in your about on YouTube the time zone and for streaming from Thursday to Saturday, 4 a.m. CET. Well, it's Friday tomorrow for me. So Fun Time Friday. Today's your Fun Time Friday, but tomorrow will be my Fun Time Friday. Where we can all chat and have a good time, talk about anime, escapism, get a feel for what everybody's thinking on the new season. We can touch on any new news that we may get about Trigun, or sort of pull the chat, see how everybody's feeling there as we pull you in, and just have a good old time chatting and having a good time. So we will do that tomorrow. So I will see everybody tomorrow at 7:00 PST. That's Pacific Standard Time. That's Pacific Northwest Time. So only saying it so people in Europe can. You're 100% correct. 100% correct. I'll add that so that it's a little more clear. The other thing I can do, of course, is set up my live streams earlier so that the live stream is always sitting there waiting, like, oh, it'll go live at, and it'll tell you the time that you're gonna go live. So we can do that as well. Had a hard time finding out when I streamed. I'll rectify that, because I have a blast having you in the conversation. You bring some very unique perspective to things. So I will do that, because again, the whole point of the escape corner is that we can get together and talk about the things that help us escape. And if you can't find me, how are we going to get together and talk about our escape? You know, how are we going to do that? Konbanwa, Kampai, and Bonsai, says Dennis. All right. Kampai, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I look forward to chatting with you all more directly tomorrow. We will have a good time. Kampai.